So, in my opinion, and a lot of people's opinions, really, 2022 was a great year for movies, not just horror movies. So, I thought, now that we're ringing in 2023, what were my 10 favorite movies, regardless of genre, from 2022? Let's find out. What's up, you guys? It's Nick of the Lost River Drive-In here, and I'm coming at you tonight to give you guys my top 10 movies of 2022. Now, granted, I watched mostly horror last year, so there's only a few titles that are going to be in here that were not in my 10 horror films list that I put on Letterboxd and posted on social media. Also, I have not seen Everything Everywhere All at Once, although I do have a digital code. Thank you very much for sending that to me, my friend. I need to get on that. I have not seen Top Gun Maverick. There are movies I have not seen yet. So, don't come for me, okay? I understand that. These are just the movies I watched. Also, this is my list. It is not the list. It is not the end-all, be-all. So if you don't agree with my list, that's totally fine. You have yours. I have mine. And, you know, the world goes round or some shit. I don't fucking know. I do have an honorable mention before I get into this list. Two honorable mentions. First honorable mention is Fresh. This is a movie that made it on my top 10 horror, but because there were a few movies that I felt like I enjoyed overall more than that, it didn't make it. But Fresh was a very, very cool movie, a Hulu original that I feel like you guys need to check out if you haven't already. Very, very much enjoyed that movie. It really surprised the hell out of me. And the next honorable mention is one that a lot of people are probably going to scoff at me and say, oh my god, this movie was terrible. Jurassic World Dominion. I am a sucker for the Jurassic Park movies. That includes the Jurassic World movies. All three of them I've enjoyed. Dominion's not my favorite of the three. Absolutely not. Fallen Kingdom still is. Yeah, I said it. But I really enjoyed Dominion. My complaints with Dominion really were I wanted a little less of the Maisie stuff and a little more Giganotosaurus. But aside from that, I really enjoyed Jurassic World Dominion for what it was. So, like, sue me. Orphan First Kill. This movie surprised the hell out of me. I can't not put this movie on this list. I enjoyed the first one when it came out years ago. I think a lot of people did. It was one of those sleeper hits that nobody was really looking out for. And then they were like, oh, this is actually pretty good. When we heard there was going to be a prequel with the same actress, you're like, how's this going to work? Because she's older and taller now. And then the trailer comes out. And this is one of the perfect examples of a trailer that I feel like is absolutely terrible. That does not do justice to the film. It was just mismarketed to shit. But the movie was great. The movie is super entertaining. It's delightfully funny at times. It's nice and bloody when it needs to be. It is just surprising. I really enjoyed Orphan First Kill. I really did. And this was a movie that I went into not expecting much out of. And maybe that's shame on me because, or the marketing department. Let's be honest here. Again, pretty shitty job. But I really, really enjoyed this movie. So coming in at number 10, Orphan First Kill. And number 9 is going to be one that dropped on Hulu as well, that a lot of people have put on their horror lists, but I consider it more sci-fi action, and that's Prey. I really liked Prey. A lot. Like a whole lot. And I know, you're going to have people coming at me saying, oh my god, Prey, you know, it was woke and... Shut up. Shut up. No, it wasn't. Like, we haven't seen strong female characters in these movies before. I don't know. Can you guys think of any? I'm trying to think of strong female characters that go up against a person or an entity that should be much more powerful than them and more cunning than them. And, oh, yeah, that's right. Anyway, Prey was awesome. I loved the dedication to having the dub in Comanche, which I'm sure is really, really cool. I didn't watch it in the Comanche dub, but I think that doing that was really, really cool. The design is great. The effects are awesome. I love the cinematography. The lead actress, I believe her name is Amber Midthunder, if I'm not mistaken. She was awesome. I mean, awesome in this movie. It took me like 15 minutes to get into it. I was kind of like, I don't know about this. And then when it kicks off, it really kicks off. And it's not a movie that takes a lot of time getting to where it needs to go. So that is another plus for Prey. I thought Prey was awesome. And when she overcomes what she overcomes, I won't get into spoilers, it makes sense. Because she used this, not this. Okay? And even then, she can use this. I don't give a shit. But she used her brain. She was very smart. She failed multiple times in this movie before she succeeded. So, shut up about that already. But Prey, number 9. And number 8 for me is going to be The Black Phone. Now, this was an original story by Joe Hill, who is the son of Stephen King. I have read a lot of Stephen King's works. I've never dived into Joe Hill. And I'm sure he's a good writer as well. I mean, probably runs in the family. Although Stephen King could work on his endings. But, so I had no idea what this was. I saw the trailer, obviously with the masks, with Ethan Hawke. It was giving me very sinister vibes. And I was like, I'm in. You son of a bitch, I'm in. And I loved The Black Phone. I really did love The Black Phone. When it came out, I felt like there was a contingent of people on the internet. And I'm going to just say this right now. And I don't need to convince myself of this because I know it's true. There was a contingent of people on the internet that wanted to take the stance of, I mean, yeah, it was good, but like, come on, because so many people were loving on it. It's not cool to be different all the time, guys. Like, it's not, if you want to, like, a good movie is a good movie. And The Black Phone is a very good movie. It's well acted. It is well shot. It is funny at times in very uncomfortable ways. It is creepy at times. It is really good. Really, really good. Like, it's just a good movie all around. It's really awesome. I love this movie. I don't know. I'm like rambling about it. But the contingent of people that were like, oh, this movie's getting so much love. I can't be one of the people to fall in line with that. Get off your high horse. It's a pretty damn good movie. So The Black Phone comes in at number 8 for me. Coming in at number 7 is going to be David Bruckner's Hellraiser. This was also a Hulu exclusive film. Should have been released in theaters, but I digress. Hellraiser was one of the movies I was most excited for this past year. I genuinely couldn't wait. As you guys know, I'm a big fan of Hellraiser. Always have been. I actually just dove back into it last year and watched all the movies over again. And I had a blast. Even with the really bad, the highs of this franchise are super high. And Hellraiser 2022 ranks in on the highs of this franchise side. Look, the settings are great. The cinematography is great. The score is great. Jamie Clayton is great as Pinhead. Fantastic. I wish we would have seen more of her, but I digress. You know, maybe tease us for another one. Let's get a sequel, damn it. I mean, the idea that the Lament configuration has 6 different, like, configurations and steps. We get to meet Leviathan again and see some of the labyrinth, and it's awesome. It's awesome. David Bruckner clearly was somebody that loved the source material, the Hellbound Heart, the original novella, and then obviously Clive Barker's original film. And it really shows in this. There were some complaints about how we didn't like really any of the characters. Yeah, but I mean, they're kind of supposed to be that way. They acted well. So, like, I don't really have that big of a problem. Plus, in these movies, I root for... Oh, there's my cat. I root for I root for the demons anyway. You know, I root for the Cenobites. That's just me. But yeah, Hellraiser 2022 I think is phenomenal. I cannot wait for a sequel if we hopefully get one. All I ask, you bring Ben Lovett back to do the score, and you bring Jamie Clayton back as Pinhead. So coming in at number 6 for me is going to be Ty West's Pearl. This movie, I think a lot of people have this a little bit higher on their list. Definitely in a lot of people's top 5s. Pearl's a flawless movie, in my opinion. There is not a problem with this movie. I think my thing with Pearl is, I'm not going to watch it as much as I'll watch some of the other movies from this year because it is a very dour experience, and that's kind of the point. It's a character study, very emotionally driven, and it's brilliant in that way. But let's talk about the positive with Pearl. Everything. Mia Goth is a damn star. She is a star, and the Academy is going to ignore her, as they did with Toni Collette, because they're a bunch of bastards. You have no credibility. We hate you. Suck a fart. The cinematography, the score, the acting, it's brilliant. I mean, this movie is brilliant. It's brilliant. I mean, what more do I have to say? Go watch Pearl if you haven't already. Like, what are you doing with your life? Coming in at number 5 is going to be, fittingly, Scream 5. Now, this is a movie I was very excited for. Probably my most anticipated movie of last year, honestly. When I think about it, like heading into 2022, it was probably Scream 5. It did not disappoint. Scream 5 walks a perfect line while blending the original cast and telling a new story with a new cast. And it merges the two worlds perfectly. I think it is just unpredictable enough to where it doesn't feel wrought. It feels fresh enough. It plays a lot of the same beats, but to good effect. I really, really, really enjoy Scream 5. Obviously, we're getting Scream 6 this year. I'm definitely looking forward to it, but not as much as I was with Scream 5. There was just something about this movie. It came out at the right time. It was very well received. It's damn good. Scream 5 comes in at number 5, and I feel very confident in putting it there. Coming in at number 4 is going to be Halloween Ends. Yeah, look, guys, this is a subjective list, not an objective list. This is just based off of, what I thought, the enjoyment I got out of it. I loved Halloween Ends. I do. I genuinely love this movie. If you guys have followed my channel for any amount of time or have listened to the Uneeda Horror Podcast for any amount of time, you know how skeptical I was of this movie. You know how worried I was about this movie, knowing the things that I knew. I went into this movie genuinely terrified, thinking I was going to hate it. Could not lie to myself when I got out of the theater. I loved it. Loved it. Very different. I liked the new characters. I liked the way the story went. I just liked the injection of new life into such an old series. A series that is my favorite. It didn't land with everybody, and that's okay. Movies, it's art. Some art works for some people, some art doesn't, and that's fine. Doesn't make me better or worse than anybody else. So, Halloween Ends at number 4. I've defended this movie to death. I don't need to say anything more about it. I freaking love it. Number 3 is not as controversial. Don't worry, guys. It's Ty West's X. I loved Pearl. I like X more. What is a better movie on a technical level? It's got to be Pearl. It has to be Pearl. I can't lie about that. I love Pearl, but X is on another level for me. X is just an easier watch. It's more fun. It hits the beats that kind of resonate with me a little bit more in terms of what I want to rewatch. It's more slasher driven. It's more fun. It's 70s. I just dig it. I really dig it. It's a time period and a subgenre that I can really get into. And I love this movie. I think that Ty West nailed it. I mean, Mia Goth is fantastic in this movie. Brittany Snow is fantastic in this movie. The score, the soundtrack, oh my God. It's just, this movie's awesome. I mean, it is genuinely awesome. If you haven't seen X yet, oh my God, rectify it. This movie is incredible. But it wasn't my number 1 on my horror list. It's only my number 3 on my 10 films in general. Because number 2, which was number 1 on my horror list, is Terrifier 2. I've talked about this at nauseum too, guys. This was a movie that I could not believe got a wide release in theaters. And it ended up playing in, I think, 1,200 theaters at its highest point, which isn't a wide release, but it's pretty wide. I couldn't believe it as I'm sitting there watching this movie. I had no hype for this movie, no expectations for this movie. People would ask me about it, and I go, yeah, whatever. I mean, whatever. And then I go see it opening night, and I did a short that I posted on YouTube and got 15,000 views because everybody was talking about this movie. And I was like, holy shit. It was just my out of the theater reaction. I was like, holy crap. What did I just watch? That's what Terrifier 2 is. Terrifier 2 is a once in a lifetime movie experience. I've never seen something so depraved, so out there, so unique than Terrifier 2 when it comes to horror in a theater. It was an incredible experience. If and when Terrifier 3 comes out, it better get a theatrical release. And if you guys didn't get to see Terrifier 2 in theaters, you have got to see Terrifier 3 when it comes out in theaters because it is a freaking experience. Terrifier 2, my favorite horror film of 2022 and my second favorite film. But what is my favorite film of 2022? Vengeance. It is, without a shadow of a doubt, The Batman. The freaking Batman. Let me just say something really quick. Everybody was worried. Not everybody. Clowns were worried when Robert Pattinson was cast as Batman. They were like, oh my God, the Twilight boy, this is going to be horrible. You do know he's done other movies, right? You do know he's shown incredible range, right? And you do know that he's not even bad in those movies. If you don't like those movies, you don't like those movies. That's fine. But he's not bad in those movies. Okay, let's just get that out of the way. I knew he was going to nail this. I knew he was going to knock it out of the park. And guess what? He did. But it's not just Robert. Although Robert is a brilliant Batman. Zoe Kravitz, amazing Selena Kyle, Catwoman. Just amazing. Their chemistry, God. The casting as a whole. Colin Farrell as the Penguin, come on. John Turturro, I could go on. This movie is cast brilliantly. It's acted brilliantly. But it's Matt Reeves. Matt Reeves, what he did with this movie, I never thought I would see a Batman film like this. And I mean that. It is more in line with what we saw with Joker than anything we've seen with Batman before. It is a dark, gritty, realistic universe. Batman doesn't feel as much like a superhero. He doesn't feel as invincible. He doesn't feel like he's on top of the world. No, he feels like a guy that's struggling to try to save people in a town that is just a city that is just wrought with crime and despair and destruction. And it's amazing. It's amazing. This world that Matt Reeves has created it's amazing. I mean, I don't know what else to say. This movie's a perfect 10 out of 10. I mean, easily. It is. We have seen Batman so many times, so many iterations of Batman. How was this movie going to stand out? How is it going to stand above the rest? How would it ever? I mean, how was this going to... How? Let's make it more like a gritty Seven meets Batman detective mystery thriller that leans more toward R rating than PG-13. Yeah, that's what they did. Matt Reeves, you are a damn saint. I cannot wait to see what they do with this universe and future sequels and spin-off shows and this movie's incredible. Love this movie. But that is my top 10 list of 2022. Let me know down in the comment section below what your 10 favorite movies of 2022 were. Not just horror, 2022 movies, all genres as a whole. Let me know down below. Please like this video, share it on social media, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, follow me on social media, all of my links are down below, and make sure to check out the Uneeda Horror Podcast over at Planet CHH, where we do dumb shit once a week, and we have a great time with it. But anyway, that's going to do it for me tonight, guys. Thank you so much. Let's have a killer 2023, and this is Nick at the Lost River Drive-In, and I am pulling out.